this might be the most important concept that you grab onto in the next 10 years. Let me ask you a simple question. How much of an impact would 60 million highly qualified views have on your business? How much of an impact would that unlock for your sales, for your personal brand, for your digital authority? This guy right here has cracked the code. All of these videos are his AI avatar. He's able to ideate, script, story design, post all of these videos without ever having to actually film and pick up the camera. So just for context, I've had 3 businesses. My last business, this whole last year, I've locked myself in my condo and I have built out the content automation systems that allow everyday business owners to automate this entire process, just like Varun and countless others that are gaining market share, increasing authority while bringing down their customer acquisition cost. I know what you're thinking. This is too good to be true. Nothing exists. Well, guess what? We live in a time where things are crazy. I have built a full-blown operating system layered with AI agents that is automating this entire process. And if you're tracking with me on this video, this is the way that the world is heading. And in just 10 minutes, you as a high-level business owner are going to know exactly what to do to pull this off yourself. So with that, let's jump in. Now, this right here is a typical content structure that you see of elite creators, right? People like Varun, Iman Gadzhi, etc., right? That have the most dialed in systems when it comes to creating content. They only focus on the highest leverage activities, right? So providing trends and direction and guidance, subtle tweaks and feedback around ideas. And, they're rarely getting in the copy, but the key here is that they have an effortless portal for feedback loops while their team handles all of the heavy lifting under the surface. We're going to get into this more in just a second, but first, we're cooking so hard. All right, let's do this.
We hit 60 million views with our avatar last month. And most of you know we've been fine-tuning this tech since early 2023 while leveraging.
So that's insane. Right from his mouth. They have hit 60 million views last month with their AI avatar without him ever picking up the camera. Same thing goes for Jake here. Jake is absolutely crushing it in the fitness and the wellness niche. So he has a newsletter and a community. I think he has a fitness app on the back end. But for example, there was like Diplo and Coachella Run Club, and he was just breaking down the story, right? So as trending stories happen in your industry, you are literally leaving money on the table if you're not helping your audience to understand what this means for them, and then add some unique insights around your perspective because you are your industry leader. Another person who is just an absolute killer here is Nick. So if you're looking into automating different parts of your business, he's an AI automation wizard. Nick, if you're watching this, hit me up. I got some automations to work on, but he's a 7-figure agency owner, right? And he has his whole business automated where his face is just narrating the content, helping his viewers understand in a quick 30 to 60 second punch on like how to use the best AI tools on the market. So I didn't just pull out content systems out of thin air. You have to understand that my last e-commerce business was my second business and I ran it up. I did a good bit of sales, as you can see on the screen here. I have this nice shiny plaque here, crossed $1 million in orders. And this is a Zendrop plaque. So we were running it up with drop shipping. But this was drop shipping done right. I had super high margins. Everything was awesome. We were selling reflective dog jackets here. Okay. So figured out how to kind of crack the code on increasing AOV. But the problem is that 1, it was seasonal. So only people wanted to buy jackets in the winter. 2, dog jackets were kind of tricky to size. But 3, the biggest issue that I realized was that I built it 100% on ads. We ran it up. Okay. So did about 1,300 ads myself. And I had been through a couple different courses and programs. I was with Ashton Shanks and Eddie Muloff with Bad Marketing. So I was in Ashton Shanks' media buying program with my first e-commerce business. And of course, that was when iOS 14 just decided to shatter everything. And I did not realize that organic content was the way forward, right? It was tricky in the era of media buying, like the algorithm had not quite figured out how to figure out attribution and this and that. And so I went all in on how to make the best creatives possible. And I just kept iterating, leaning in. Like my zone of genius I learned in this period was actually video editing. So after the first year, I realized that there was this one thing that would have ultimately saved my business. And frankly, I probably could have scaled it to this day. And that would have been an organic content flywheel system. Everyone knows now that YouTube is like a cheat code, right? But what are you doing to supplement and create an omnipresent effect across all the social media platforms, right? Because when people are locked in YouTube, they're in a learning mindset. Amazing. They know about you, right? But when they're on social media scrolling for entertainment, what do they want? They want to be informed, educated, or inspired. And frankly, they want to be tapped into the things that are currently happening in the world, right? What are the viral videos? What are the headlines breaking? What does it mean for them? What makes them look good when they share it to their friends? It's all about creating content that they look cool. Like that's what it comes down to. So last year, before shutting down my e-commerce business, I actually partnered up with the Creators Corner group. So they have an elite server here of, you can see my Lunar Pooch logo down there. So we brought on 10 creators. We tried the omnipresent effect, but I just got smacked with the seasonality of this, like the issue of us launching this program in February, and then it warmed up. And I just decided, you know what, let me just throw in the towel on this business and I'm going to become a creator myself. So what I did was I joined the Creators Corner. And the Creators Corner, by the way, if you don't know, this is Jimmy Poppy and Rob the Bank. This is an elite community of like 1,800 creators. And what they do is they all get together and they organize themselves by pods, by brand, right? And so they're posting on TikTok Shop, primarily CPG, health and wellness brands. So I was working with the Goli vitamins as well as the NeuroGum. And in these pods of creators, we're talking like 200 creators working for a single brand. One person's video goes viral and then everyone kind of remixes it in their own lens. Now, I got obsessed with this. I built these content automation systems around this. I used this as my launch pad, essentially, because I got my content up to where I was posting 10 videos per day, 10 unique videos. I don't think you understand how difficult that is to actually pull off, right? And so each one of these videos had its own unique storyline, its own narrative. And for whatever reason, I think my second phone here that I got for TikTok might have just been cooked, but I burned through like 7 TikTok Shop accounts that I bought. I ended up like making $5,000 or so, but like it didn't pay for itself. I have a team of editor and copywriter that I trained on all of these systems, but what I learned was immensely valuable. Two things. One is that there were people getting 10, 20 million views on these videos, and what they were doing was just authority hacking and trend hacking things that were happening in the world, and then controlling the narrative as they drive it towards revealing how it connects to whatever message that they wanted to deliver, right? And in this case, it went from Donald Trump all the way to Joe Rogan, and at the end, I'm like buying NeuroGum with a double tap on my phone, right? So I realized that pulling in viral topics like this can now be automated with systems. We have AI agents and all these different things. So I started building this operating layer, knowing that I can start adding all of these automations in and really just automating the whole thing. So, last January, we were about to get banned on TikTok. And I said, you know what? I got to throw in the towel here. I'm not building creator systems. As the name implies, creators are creative. They want to own that control. They don't want to automate themselves. But what I did is, you can see some of these videos in here are actually my AI clones. I realized that I could take these same exact systems and I could just kind of repackage them. I now basically automated my entire personal brand. I could redo this thing for business owners that are looking to scale up their omnipresence authority on short form media. So guys, if you want to see all of my personal brand videos now, just go over onto the shorts and there's a whole list of them, just all AI automation. So during this time period, I spent about $12,000. I just did my taxes a few months ago, $12,000 on AI software subscriptions, figuring out what were the best pieces to kind of pull together this system that will be timeless. Software is figuring out what was the best way to actually clone myself and scale up my content production. Okay. Now, I've personally coordinated 600 plus videos of my AI clone being produced, whether that be for TikTok or my personal brand. I have this down to a science. Okay. If you try to go into HeyGen, so this is HeyGen, I found this to be the most reliable, kind of true, authentic way to capture your hand movements, your emotions, your gestures, just everything. There's a certain way that you need to intake your avatars, but you can see all of these different avatars here, right? I had kind of different variations of each. These were when I was doing TikTok Shop, but you see this little failed thing right here. So what you're seeing are all the ones that went through. What you're not seeing is probably 100 of these intakes, and each intake is about a 2-minute process to get your motions down right, and then you intake it, and you have to just do it in a particular way, or else it will say failed. Okay, so I have figured out how to get this down to a T, and giving you a little bit of sauce right here, but if you go to heygen.com, I'll put a link somewhere. You can take 2 minutes of video, you can load this right in, and you'll get an avatar. It might not be the best looking avatar, but it is an avatar. It is a clone of yourself. What I always do is I always look for ways that I can add multiple scenes. So you can see I'm in the mall right here. I'm sitting at the mall right here. You're sitting, me here with my computer, or me sitting or standing, me kind of at this angle or that angle with a selfie POV. And again, like, go test this out yourself. It's super cool. I almost kind of see this like a video game, but I got very obsessed with this whole, avatar motion. And why, might you ask? Well, of course, yes, to scale up your social media, but just think ahead. If you can build your kind of personalized passport, if you will, with your avatar, you can crank out these videos in short form. Long form's not quite there yet. Short little videos to your customers, customer success, people interacting with your website, Otter even just released to this thing that allows you as a CEO or a founder to put your avatar in the meeting on your behalf, right? So like, the world is heading in this direction, and if you can figure out how to best digitize yourself and kind of get it into the right operating systems, then there's just so much that you can do. And just imagine all the time that you're not spending in the meetings, that you're not filming the content, that you're not doing one-on-one voice recording. There's so much time that you can get back in your day. And if you're a high-level entrepreneur, $500, $1,000, $5,000 an hour, like, let's get that back into your business. Okay, so if you're just getting started with content, it is a lot to bite off. I get it, right? I've been there. The biggest thing with anything in entrepreneurship is just when you don't have the clarity, confidence, and direction, like, you're just doing a ton of testing, you're throwing shit at the wall, you're watching all these YouTube videos, like, you don't know how to research things properly, you don't know how to script, you don't like picking up the camera, you don't know what's going to work, right? Like, it's all over the place. And it really holds true whether you're a service-based provider that's like a realtor, a doctor, a lawyer, if you're a SaaS founder that's whether B2B, B2C, some type of AI company, if you're a coach, consultant, agency, high ticket offer, right? If you're doing e-commerce, well, if you're doing e-commerce, there's a bunch of like AI actors now that you can use. But if your main source of income is your face, this is how you clone yourself. If you're in any of these industries, and you can kind of skip a lot of the content hell. You don't have to worry about the filming part, but I would recommend that you actually do, right? Because you learn so much as a creator when you just start picking up the camera and just banging out some scripts. Pushing through the uncomfortableness and doing this will yield a lot. And you'll learn a lot about kind of your content style and just general flow of things. But once you have some initial success, like, you probably know what's your first hire, right? You're going to be hiring a content team, okay? And this is typically going to be a copywriter and an editor. Now, once you do this, it's great, right? You have some time back in your day, you're able to crank out more velocity, but you still have issues with management, predictability, monetizing, quality control, strategy, right? Like, you probably recognize many of these different things. Maybe your competitors are just letting it absolutely rip while yours are not getting sales, right? Maybe you can't scale up the content production without actually hiring more people, but your systems are all kind of bottlenecked, or maybe you're the bottleneck, right? Maybe you just don't want to sit down and actually record the videos. This is a real issue that I faced with all of that TikTok shop content. And when I found that I could AI clone myself and really scale the velocity of that through the right systems, like, guys, this was a game changer, just a new world unlocked in terms of time that you can reclaim and kind of the agileness that you can now lean in with and allow your team to just crank out content on your behalf without you actually having to record or pick up the camera. So I've been studying all of the top creators the last year. I'm talking about Varun, who's an AI creator. I'm in Iman Gadzhi's 8FL high ticket program now, and everyone has systems. They all have operational teams in place. And if you have a team in place, amazing. But most people are kind of stuck at that content team of like 2 or 3, but they really need to scale like they have a content team of 20. Now, this is how you do it. We've built our entire operating system to allow the best of both worlds, where the inputs that come in specifically for the founder are tailored to the founder around, well, what trends, what industry insights do we want to kind of provide a narrative around, right? Giving the founder the ability to provide some subtle tweaks and feedback, drop a voice note, provide a, approval on a video, or say, hey, we need to change the hook this way. Do this a couple times and the system will start to become self-optimized, right? And these videos just get posted on autopilot. out into the world, highly dialed in, relevant, culturally viral videos. Now, if you peel this back and think about what happens with a real content team, right? You have a producer, someone coordinating all of this. You have a strategist that's actually researching trending ideas, understanding all the different viral frameworks and things that need to be kind of packaged up, working with the researcher to then go grab all of those different screenshots, the videos, the YouTube snippets, all of the different elements that need to come together to make that video so good so that it can actually go viral. Because frankly, like a lot of videos on the internet today just suck. Right. And so like we've obsessed about how do we make videos that don't suck? It's by getting super dialed in SOPs on every single one of these stages. The story designer literally has like a whiteboard of like all the different things like Lego blocks, right? You're putting media blocks all over the place, working with the copywriter. Normally you're having to sit down and work with a videographer and use your valuable time here, right? Your time is worth so much money, but now this fully operational team under the tip of the iceberg here can just use your AI clone if you've cloned yourself properly and feed this all into your editor. And then this gets sent back up to the producer that kind of quality checks. If it passes the QA, amazing. It's out into distribution, right? And then you're posting out to all the different sub accounts or whatever your strategy is. Every founder is different, or maybe you just have one main account. But regardless, the main thing is that your time as an elite founder is protected. You're only focusing on the high leverage direction, driving the ideas and providing the feedback. And all of this underneath is a self-optimizing profit factory. All right, so this is all good in theory, right? But like, what does it actually mean to have a self-optimizing profit factory? This is exactly what we built with Viral Wizard so that you as a high 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneur can just drop your ideas in, and then the factory does all of the heavy lifting and just produces literally unlimited clone videos of you. I don't think you fully grasp how crazy this is. It's very Black Mirror, right? Like 5 years into the future, the internet might break. But are you going to be the one breaking it, making all the money along the way, or your competitors, right? Because everyone's going to be doing this. Honestly, my bet is in like 5 years, we're probably going to go back to some type of real social connection. In person will just be the thing. But hey, in the meantime, let's dominate the internet and let's make some money. So this is my business, Viral Wizard. I have built this crazy ass operating system inside of Airtable with a bunch of AI agents and automations. But before I even work with anyone on ramping up their video production through our factory, you have to understand that first you have to take the micro commitment of being willing and curious to clone yourself with AI, right? I can't ramp up video production if you're not ready to go build your AI content playbook and kind of get your avatar spec'd so that my team can run it through this process and start to ramp velocity for you. I will work with you one-on-one to make sure that you have the best AI clone inside of your HeyGen account and that it is maximized for whatever kind of use case that you need to apply it to. So honestly, if you're curious about this, just right now, go to viralwizard.ai and then click that little button. That'll book a call directly with me and we can chat. But I am working with my clients on building out their fully optimized AI playbook. So this is not only their voice clone at the highest professional level, their visual clone, but also their mind, right? Like what makes their customers tick, right? So we build out this custom viral scripting brain that literally has all the things about your business, your offer, your dream customer, what are their challenges, their motivators, the deep things that psychologically make them kind of stay paying attention. Like what are the little ways that we can spike and release dopamine throughout the videos through like NLP and kind of some crazy ass tactics, right? But like there's a lot of things that you can do when you build like an AI scripting brain specifically around your mind and how to connect with your audience. So once you have your mind, once you have your voice, and then you have your likeness all cloned, it then has to be edited in a very particular way because like you can't just sit there and yap into your phone for 2 minutes and post it on social media and it go viral, right? Same thing with these AI videos. Plus, if you give the viewer enough time, they'll start to notice that it's AI. So there's a very particular way that you actually have to edit these videos. We have this so dialed in. Remember, we've edited personally thousands of videos. This is like our sweet spot. And so once we have all this wrapped up, we're going to put this into an action plan for you. And then we're going to make 3 videos just so that you can see our quality, right? We're going to take your new avatar and we're going to give you 3 videos. And we're going to say, hey, if you like it, amazing. You can continue to work with us. If not, that's fine. You can take this full playbook and go work with your own editing team, kind of spin up whatever operation you want. No pressure, right? We just want to help take you from here into the future, right? Like that's a simple decision that you have to make today. Do you want to step into the future? If yes, then I am more than happy to be your guide. So let's just say that you love the videos, you see the vision, right? You want to ramp this up and kind of test it out. So what we'll do is we'll work with you over 90 days and we will build out your full dialed in SOPs. These SOPs are basically taking the full playbook that we already just built and now putting it into practice. So we have our Airtable systems on the back end, and every one of our clients, we're going to be deploying a new instance of Airtable and setting up all of these AI agents and automations, fine tune all of the SOPs to your business, and then we're going to ramp production and take this thing to the fucking moon. Remember, part of this whole thing is around optimizing, right? So we're continuously pulling in things from your industry, from your videos, what worked, what didn't work, refining the scripting engine and really getting these videos dialed in, making sure that any breaking trends or kind of new frameworks are directly applied into this production process. And we'll put together the whole editing blueprint at the highest level possible, right? Because now we're unpacking all of these different content pillar styles. They all have different editing blocks. And we have to put in the right B-roll strategy and A-roll strategy and kind of clips. Like there's so many things that have to go into this. If you've spun up a content team, you know it is a lot. And we have all of this on the back end already organized, ready to go, ready to bring you through it and kind of personalize it to your brand. And the cherry on top here is that with all of this complexity, we actually make it super simple because we only provide a portal for you at the top to show you exactly the things that you want. So if you're the type of person that loves seeing the copy of the scripts, we can open up that field and you can provide feedback. If you never want to see the scripts, we can just hide it so that you only see the final videos and a little spot for a note. Every client that we work with, we spin up a custom portal. And then at the end of the 90 days, if you want to ramp this thing, we just built a fully automated video production system powered with AI agents. And while we have our team in place, right, if you're a 7-figure entrepreneur watching this video, you likely have 2 employees ready to throw into this machine. And so what we'll do is we will hand you the keys to the machine, and then we will work with you on the distribution strategy. The biggest thing here is, yes, you could connect into some APIs and post to 100 different accounts, but the problem is like the algorithm knows that, right? And so you have to actually post with real posters in whatever geography that you're in. I was in Iman's coaching call last week. I literally asked them this. They have tested this. They have spent so much money testing all of the different social media tactics, right? And like this holds true time and time again. You can also go look at media scaling with Logan Forsett. He's another guy that runs the game up with this. But the problem with him is, they're only working with really big, large creators that have a ton of podcasting clips and they just kind of reclip and repurpose into the world. With this strategy here, we're talking about the speed to break news and convert that into a lead is astronomical. We're scraping things off the internet, using your AI avatar to actually generate these videos and ramp them through posting distribution out through a network of real verified posters that we have built within our WAP. So within this WAP, this is essentially like a marketplace that allows these posters to get rewarded for both their performance of did the videos getting posted actually work, and also just the count of how many videos they posted at a bare minimum that they are held accountable to. This way it's a win-win. You get the maximum reach, it's a verified poster, and the poster gets paid for the videos actually working. And of course, as we're handing off this fully licensed system to you, it's going to be fully dialed with all your AI agents, with all of your optimizations and all the reporting mechanisms ready to go so that you can just sail whatever message you want into the ether. It actually gives me chills to think about that. This is the first YouTube video that I've dropped, and like what I have built is so insane. So if you think about what this means, like you are literally quantum scaling. If you have your personal brand over here, your YouTube channel over here, and you have sub accounts all over here reporting on trending things that your audience wants to know about. Guys, like I don't think you fully grasp how crazy this can get. Your AI avatar will be printing millions of views while you sleep, effectively bringing down your acquisition cost, allowing you to further throttle more gas on whatever you're selling, whatever your offer is. But none of this can be done unless you have the right coaching an AI foundation layer of how to actually bring your AI clone into the right systems. If you want to explore what this could look like for you, just head to Viral Wizard or find the little link wherever it might be down there. Book a call with me. Would love to chat with you and see if we can help you. If nothing else, we will definitely be able to provide some free sauce on how to clone yourself with AI at the highest level and build your AI scripting brain. And frankly, those are probably two of the highest leverage things that you can focus on in 2025. With that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be dropping so much more sauce on content automation and all things growth with AI. So if you like the video, drop a subscribe and we'll see you on the next one.